we're talking about this getting a hold of this grip, and the point that I'm trying to make is that by using the first finger extension, and I'm actually on the side of the finger rather than flat down to get this message in a bottle grip. And in doing that, having the side of the finger there allows me to use the curve of the finger to reach up the neck with the other fingers relatively comfortably. And if we look over the top, you'll see my thumb is actually parallel to this middle finger here, more or less. And you also see, like, let's see if I got that. It's a little bit dark, but you can still see. There's a lot of flex in the wrist, but not too much. Right now I'm sitting with the neck a little more parallel to the ground than I would really prefer. Like if I'm actually trying to really play this with the greatest ease, I'm gonna have the neck up just a little bit and move the thumb forward. But I'm doing that by just playing with where the thumb is altogether. And just because we were talking about the differences, oops, what happened there? Oh, that was for over the top. You can also do it with the fourth finger extension, but you're gonna end up with or I would recommend with the third finger flatter so that you can get the full extension out of the fourth finger. The reason why I like the first finger extension better, other than just liking first finger extensions better, and is that it allows you to create a more legato connection between a smoother connection between the chords. Because I'll advance, see that? Kind of inchworm between chords. I'll move that finger, and this is the one I have to hop. Like so. Okay, how's that, Pat?
Good.
Okay. Do you know the difference between laziness and efficiency?
I guess. I think so.
A friend of mine taught me a really great definition for this, which is efficiency is avoiding the work you should not do, whereas laziness is avoiding the work you should do. And good technique is always about efficiency. It's a great way to think about technique. So when you're working on these grips, which they take a lot of work, these finger extensions are one of the most challenging techniques on the guitar, just physically from a hand perspective. So when you're working on them, you want to take it slow and easy, and you want to just think about, okay, and go lightly and easily, and play with how much more efficient you can use your hand. And one of the things where this really comes in handy, I was showing this a minute ago, is thinking about like playing with where the thumb is and feeling how much tension there is in your hand, really paying attention to the whole hand, whether it's like whether it's in 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 here or in the fingers or anywhere really. With these grips, I tend to feel, it gets just a little tired in on my thumb with that sort of extension of it. And if I adjust the position of the thumb, it makes it a lot easier. So for example, with this thing right here, we're leaning forward to do that. Yeah, there we go. Is that I'll play with how far forward the thumb is to see where I can get just enough leverage, but I'm not really using too much effort or using as little effort as possible, as efficient as possible. And right about there, for me, I end up sort of on the side of my thumb too. It feels pretty good. I might put it a little bit lower. It's slightly different for people according to their own hands. And you have to, the best thing to do is to slow down and really pay attention to how you're doing it. It's kind of slow work.
Okay.
Thoughtful maybe is a good way to think about it. Contemplative even. So yeah, and where we're going with that is to just be able to get it so that we can play the lick smoothly. So we don't have too many gaps.
Right.
And that's do you ever record yourself when you're playing, like your practice? Just like on the voice
Um,
recorder on your phone or something?
Not when I practice, but sometimes I'll just record. I mean, I guess yeah, when I practice, but not really a lot. Just sometimes I record the song that I'm playing,
Yeah.
but not specifically like my practice, like the entire thing.
Yeah, so I think a good thing, something I encourage people to get in the habit of is just recording a small portion of your practice. So if you're practicing, let's say you're practicing this message in a bottle riff and you've got 20 minutes to practice it. So you get warmed up a little bit and you practice it for a little while. And as you're getting ready to conclude, just turn on your voice recorder on your phone for like 2 minutes and record how you're playing that riff that day and what it sounds like, because then later after practice you can go listen to it and hear what it sounds like and go, and you'll hear more because when you're not actively playing it you can be totally focused on what it sounds like, whereas when you're actually doing it you're not at, won't possibly are not as focused on what it sounds like. And then as you're listening to it later you can go, oh, there's gaps there, or oh, the timing is a little bit funny, and so that next time when you come back to your practice you'll have that in mind. And I really recommend people do that, um, to get in the habit of it. The other thing is it gets you it gets you in the habit of just recording yourself and listening to yourself, which is hands down the best way to get better. So just like, next time you practice this, even all week, it's like basically you record it, you record a little portion of your practice and maybe listen to it that night as you're getting ready for bed and go, oh, okay, tomorrow I need to work on this aspect of it and that aspect of it. And just planting that seed in your head, you'll start fixing, you'll change it in your mind, which is really where all the changes happen. Maybe listen to it again the next day and then delete it, have another practice session, make another recording, just get in the
Okay.
habit. Cool. It's super,
Right.
super helpful. My teacher, this guy, when I studied at NEC, I studied with a guy named Mick Goodrick, and he used to say, it's probably in his book, actually, I think, you can get anywhere with a guitar and a metronome and a tape recorder. And that was 30 years ago, and now we have much far superior tips than that, or technology than that, I should say. Okay. Another trick that's going to come in handy for message in a bottle is what some people call artificial harmonics. They're not really artificial, but people call them that because you use one hand to play the harmonic. And Andy Summers, who's a guitarist in the Police, uses these really creatively. And so if you've, I'm pretty sure that we have played harmonics before just with one hand, like this, where you place your finger right over the 12th fret, but you don't put any pressure, and it gives you a sound that's an octave higher. Does that sound familiar, Patrick?
Yeah, yeah. We've done it before.
Yeah. So with this technique, you actually, what you do is you use you put the pick between your thumb and your middle finger right there, so that you have your index finger free. And then what you end up doing is picking the string. Let's see if I can show this. So I'm going to fret here at the second fret. So I'm going to come 12 frets higher at the 14th fret. And I'm actually going to pick the string, or I'm going to put my index finger of the string, index finger on the string 12 frets higher than where I'm fretting at the second fret, and pick it at the same time. And what he does is he actually ends up playing, oh, I'm terrible at this, but he actually picks, he'll intersperse, I do it more comfortably without the pick, but so I'm going to show you that way. But he gets this harp effect by interspersing, picking with a finger at the actual fret, not a harmonic, and then picking a harmonic at the 14th fret, or 12 frets above. Let me see if I can give you a better view of that. Yeah, this is okay. So, yeah, that's not bad. A little bit like that. Yeah, pretty good. So here I am, and so I'm going to pick the fourth string, and then play a harmonic on the sixth string, and then pick the third string, and then play a harmonic on the fifth string. first, harmonic on the third. I think he only plays it 4, 6, 3, 5, 2. Oh, that's it. It's a really cool sound. Let me get my left hand fingers out of the way for you. Maybe I'll pull them a little closer now and just let you see that again. Oops, sorry. Like that. Some people call that kind of like a harp-like effect. So you might please just play around with making those harmonics that way with one hand. I would totally have to practice that with a pick because when I do it, I usually play it without a pick. But it's a really cool thing. You hear it at the ends of the choruses on "Message in a Bottle." So check it out.